Ugh, you're so annoying. Ba, you called. Bachi. You ran after your older brother. You weren't his biological sister, but you were as close as anyone could ever get to being Baji's biological sibling. It's Baji. He sounded out his name. Your mom and his dad had married a few months earlier. It would be both your parents' second marriage. You had never met your dad, so Balaji was your claimed father, which pissed off Baji somehow. You were only 3 when Balaji and your mother married. Baji was 5. Hirumi, what the hell do you think you're wearing? You had looked down. What? You were genuinely confused. What was Baji referring to? Go put some pants on. Baji, you tried to reason, but he wasn't having any of it. Come on, Baji, I'm almost 8. Exactly, only 8. You shouldn't be wearing skirts that short. You deadpanned. It's literally the school uniform. I should have a talk with the school board then. He pounded his fist with his other. As you got older, Baji grew accustomed to you though. He acted like an actual brother, which began to annoy you. Baji? Through him you had met Mikey, Draken, Mᴜsɪᴄ, Pachin, Katsutora, and Chifuyu. Who are they? You raised an eyebrow. The boys scattered across your living room turned to face you. Who's the kid? Draken had asked. Excuse you? How old do you think I am? Was your retort. Yo, Baji. Pachin looked toward your brother. Baji stood and walked toward you. Out of the corner of your eye, you saw one of Baji's friends look a little harder than the others. You thought his eyes might pop out. Baji had planted his hand on the tippy top of your head and ruffled your hair. This is my brat sister. She's 9. Shut up, you're only 11. You glared, and Baji smirked. The boy who had been staring at you like you were a golden statue he could eat walked over to you and smiled. Nice to meet you. I'm Chifuyu. With that one sentence, your entire world stopped. Only you hadn't known that yet. For Chifuyu, his world had just begun spinning when he met you. You were like 2 peas in a pod. Or a more accurate description would be the yin and yang signs. You balanced each other out. Had Baji known your relationship would blossom into more than just friendship, he may or may not have tried to prevent it. But he didn't, and neither did you or Chifuyu. Over the course of 5 years, you and Chifuyu grew to be somewhat obsessed with each other. It wasn't the weird kind of obsession. It was more like the mental kind. You were both new to each other and were both held close to Baji's heart. It was a no-brainer you would be curious about the other. You found out his favorite holiday was Halloween, just like yours. So that year, you had planned to go trick-or-treating together. Since Baji only ever went because you couldn't go by yourself, he sat out this time around, trusting you with Chifuyu. Your parents, of course, had no idea, as they usually went out on Halloween with their friends. It was something you and Baji had grown used to, so it was never questioned and never really a problem. Chifuyu and yourself decided to go as Bonnie and Clyde that year. The next year you went as ghosts and found that you rather liked wearing a sheet over your head as a costume. It was airy and gave you the ability to move around a lot. The next year, you and Chifuyu had decided to go as Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf. However, you both agreed that you preferred the freeness that the sheets of the ghost gave you, so it became your go-to costume. This was your 6th year, not only of knowing Chifuyu, but being able to celebrate your favorite holiday with him as well. Chifuyu was Baji's age, meaning he would be turning 17 this year. You would be turning 15, had absolutely no experience with guys or girls for that matter. You knew what a crush was, and you were certain what you were feeling was not simply a crush. You believed you were in love. From the first moment he introduced himself to you, to this very second, sitting high under the midnight sky, watching all the small trick-or-treaters run amok themselves. The autumn night air blew around you, making you shiver. This year you had not dressed up. You thought that Chifuyu had been put through enough, that it was finally time for you to retire your old tradition. You two were already way too old. He was in his second year of high school, and you were in your last year of middle school. Obviously, though, Chifuyu had not gotten the message. You admired him. He had thrown on his 12-year-old bed sheet, which didn't even meet his knees anymore. He looked childish and idiotic, but you loved him regardless. You're shivering because you forgot the tradition. Shame on you, he said with a smirk. The spirits of Halloween past are haunting you. Yes, yes, you waved your hands, sitting down next to him. Please forgive me, oh spirits of Hallow's past. You clasped your hands together, closing your eyes in the process, as if you were actually praying. You watched Chifuyu through his tiny eye holes as the Holy Spirits of Halloween supposedly answered your prayers. His green eyes popped open so suddenly your heart skipped a beat. You caught yourself, though, and asked, "So, what did they say?" He frowned. "They don't forgive you." You rolled your eyes and mimicked throwing a pillow at him. He mimicked getting shot in his chest, causing laughter to spill from your throat. Your laughs blended into each other like they always seemed to do. Chifuyu pulled the sheet off of his face and turned to you. He was closer than before, you noticed. Something told you to stay quiet, to keep your mouth shut and forget you ever thought about the thought you just had, but you couldn't. "Hey, Chifuyu?" you asked. "Yeah?" His smile gave you more confidence than you ever could have achieved on your own. "What if I told you I loved you?" It's like you were drunk on emotion. He stared at you for a long time. You didn't know what to make of his expression. You were hoping you didn't just ruin your friendship, and thankfully, Chifuyu fixed your conclusion. "Hey, Hirumi," he asked, leaning in. You leaned back, but then froze. "Yeah? Can I kiss you?" Your eyes widened. You were in the middle of saying yes when Chifuyu's lips took yours. It all happened so fast. You were confused at the moment. He pulled away, panting. His eyes scoured yours, scorched your soul, and defined every inch of it into his mind. Then he kissed you again.